What's up, my nits, my wits, and everyone in between? I just wanted to talk about my experience with the poker live stream that I was a part of on Saturday in Jacksonville, Florida at Jack's Best Bet. I left the Gulf Coast Friday morning, got there Friday afternoon, played in the stream Saturday, left Sunday morning, had to work today. And so this is the first opportunity I've really had to kind of reflect on my experience. I'm not going to talk about exactly what happened at the tables. I'm doing a vlog, vlog 12 to be exact, that's going to talk about the hands, how well I played, how well I did, how poorly I played, or how poorly I did. You'll have to stay tuned to vlog 12 to find all that out. But I promise it is action packed and it is fun if you didn't get to see the stream itself. So got there Friday, met up with the guys Friday night. This all got started by Mad Hatter. He lives in the Florida area. This was his game. He plays at Best Bet quite a bit. He has a relationship with them, and they have granted him the ability to choose lineups of his choosing and put them on stream. So the first thing I want to say is thank you, Mad Hatter, for giving me the opportunity. I hope I at least represented you as well as I could have. It took a lot for you to invite strangers and to trust that they were going to do the right thing and represent your brand well. And I hope that I did a good job of that. And I'm going to get more kind of into what the Mad Hatter's doing and all sorts of stuff. But it was myself, Egg Roll Poker, who is also in Mississippi, 2x2L Calling, who is in Colorado, and Hype Man Rips Poker, who is in Arizona, Digstown, who is his brother, and then a few other people as well. But he primarily wanted to put a live stream together for smaller content creators to have an opportunity to kind of showcase themselves and just pretty much just trying to do a really nice, good human act of kindness and kind of essentially help us out to try to get to kind of where he's at now. So again, thank you again, Mad Hatter, for giving us this opportunity. So get there about Friday night, meet up with the guys, and we, of course, played poker. I know for myself, I wanted to knock the rust off. I hadn't played in 2.5, 3 weeks. So I went ahead and got all that kind of taken care of. Excuse me. So at that point, I was definitely excited to be there, but the nerves or anything hadn't kicked in. Wasn't sure if they were going to. I knew once it got closer and anticipation would kick in, and was kind of curious to see how all that was going to play out. So Friday night we played a little poker. We ended up calling it a night somewhat early, I believe. Probably not that early, but somewhat early, enough to get a few hours of sleep. Next day, we all met for lunch. By the way, Hatter met all of us before we decided to go to play poker to introduce himself, and we kind of just all talked to get to know each other a little bit better. Saturday, out of the kindness of his heart, he did treat us to lunch. I appreciate that once again. I know I told you thank you probably 100 times it seemed like, but thank you for doing that. You didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate you taking care of that. And then after lunch, we got up to Jack's Best Bet, probably roughly an hour or so. That way they could kind of get things situated before we started to play. So I'm going to start talking about the experience itself here. And really, I'm just sharing this just in case you're ever curious and want to know what playing on a live stream is like, or if you played in one and just want to know how this one was, maybe compared to your experience, and maybe once if this is something you wanted to try, this may be an option for you. So the first thing we do is we get there, we just kind of go to where that table is being filmed, kind of hang out around there for a little bit. They get our information, take a quick picture so they can use it in their graphics, and then obviously sit down and play. Excuse me. So at that point, yeah, playing on the stream was starting to kick in. I was starting to get a little nervous because we had seen the table the night before, But starting to see the table and seeing everybody trying to get it ready, you're like, okay, so now it's happening. It's go time. It's becoming very, very real. So Hatter introduces us to the two dealers that are working, excuse me, and the gentlemen who are doing the commentary. They were that staff was very, very gracious. Every single one of them were extremely friendly. If you haven't seen the stream, you can still go catch it. It should be the latest live stream, so you can go back and take a look if you're curious to see what happens. But all of them were very, very friendly before, during, and after stream. Made all of us feel at home. So we start playing, and that's definitely when the nerves start kicking in. But it's right before we start playing for me. You kind of start forgetting about everything, within a couple minutes of play. A couple of hands go by, and you just kind of start doing what you normally do. Now, I will say this. I think it helped us a lot that we were able to kind of all hang out the night before, kind of get to know each other a little bit better, and then we met up with some of the other guys a little bit earlier so we could at least do basic introductions. Because this stream, to me, excuse me, just felt like a house game that was being televised or videotaped for YouTube. And so it felt like you were just playing poker with your buddies, at your house, at the college dorm, kind of wherever you guys have ever played cards before, just in a normal setting environment. Sometimes going to the casino or different poker rooms, because you don't know the people, the dynamics can be very different. The tables, I've been at tables where not a word's been said, and I've been at tables where everybody is making jokes and having a good time, and it seems to be a very good vibe. This was definitely on the second spectrum of things. Since we all got to kind of know each other and got to meet each other, it made that situation feel more relaxed. And so I felt like there was definitely a lot of conversation, talking, and just engagement. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it's been a long weekend and I have not slept that much, so I apologize if I'm rambling and I'm just trying to get my thoughts together. But so yeah, it made everything feel very natural and normal. I would say this was definitely one of my favorite poker experiences that I've had, including going to the WSOP. I felt like in some ways this experience was better, just because of the way it was set up. So this is the thing too. You could actually go to Best Bet's website and put yourself on a list and be part of the live stream, or have a chance to be part of the live stream, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go and talk about why, because it was done this way, I think the experience was way better than what it probably would have been if you just would have kind of signed in. So even though, so Mad Hatter has a very good relationship with this particular organization. He plays with them, and they've entrusted him to put together a few lineups, and he chose us. But, he could have kind of just stopped there, just, had us come to play poker, just to play poker on the stream, not meet up with us beforehand, engage with us beforehand, and make us feel comfortable and just feel like this was more than just about just sitting and playing poker, that this was actually an experience to get to meet a new set of group of people and just kind of get to know them and kind of create bonds and friendships beyond that. So I think that right there made the experience like 1,000 times better. It just made you feel like you were going to your normal house game with your buddies after work or after a hard day or whatever the case may be, and just to sit there and have a good time. Because the stream, I mean, it was 5+ hours, maybe 5 hours and 15 or 20 minutes or so, but it went by super, super quick. I mean, there were so many laughs and so many good conversations going on. And to me, that's what makes poker really, really fun and at its best, is when everybody's having a good time at the table. Yeah, of course, everybody's trying to take each other's money, but that's just part of this specific game and this specific quote-unquote sport. That's always kind of going to be a thing with it. So when you have that dynamic, like what we had, it just makes it better. Just makes it more enjoyable. Um, so I will say this: for my first time being on a stream, I don't know if I'll ever be on another stream um, in my life, but if I am, I'm glad this was the first experience because the Hatter did a really good job, not just reaching out to us, but making us feel comfortable, answering any kind of questions, sacrificing his time to come down there because he doesn't live right down the street, like some of us do to some of our local games or casinos or poker rooms. He had to travel. He had to put in his own money for a hotel, put up his own money to take us out to lunch. So he's coming to a game where he's already kind of at a negative EV level or where he's already kind of invested his own money into it. He's not an ambassador for them, like a technical ambassador, even though I would consider him an ambassador for them on what he's doing and bringing people to this game and bringing eyes to it. He doesn't have any kind of relationship as far as that goes, where there's any kind of monetary or any kind of breaks that they're giving him. So a lot of this he's doing out of his own pocket, which goes to say a lot about his character as well. And that he's willing to put strangers on that are going to be kind of an extension of his brand. I know I've said this a couple times already, but that takes a lot for somebody to be able to do that and trust people, especially people he's never met in person, and has had a few conversations here and there with everybody over the phone or through text or through our Discord or wherever he's talked to everybody at. But he's putting himself out there. He's sacrificing his own personal time with his family for these types of things and his own personal money. And I really feel like that investment's going to come back to him, whether that's sooner or later, because I know we're not the first group he's done this with, and we're not the last group. So I just want to say a big thank you to him for giving all of us this opportunity.